Hey everyone, Jared Gaspy, your local real estate superhero here again. We are in day one of the top 5 biggest mistakes that sellers make when they're trying to sell their home. Again, I want to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that not every single seller makes these mistakes, and I want to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that just because someone may make these mistakes doesn't necessarily mean that they're ridiculous and that the mistakes that they make are unjustified or huge leaps of logic. Most of these, in fact, have a very core logical basis that just kind of loses its way along the way. And so, starting off Monday, I wanted to go over one that I feel like will help a lot of people because it's something that gets someone really excited and then can very easily hurt them down the road. And so, number one of the top 5 biggest mistakes, in no particular order, mind you, I'm not doing these as this is the best one or this is the worst one or anything like that. But the first mistake we're going to cover is thinking that having a high offer price is the most important aspect of selling your home. And I mean this by after you've already been on the market, you've had people looking at the home, they've decided they like it or they don't, and you've got offers in front of you. And you get, let's say, a few, maybe 2 or 3, and the one with the large number really catches your attention. Let's say you hit the market at $500,000 and someone comes with an offer at $495, someone comes at $500, and someone comes at $525. That $525 just screams out to you. That's $30,000 more than the lower offer of the 3. And a lot of people jump and they try to take that and they try to run with it because $525 is a huge difference from $495. And so you want to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck, which is why this isn't a ridiculous leap in logic in wanting to go for the higher number. What not everyone understands well, and it's sometimes an issue of the agent, it's sometimes just someone getting too excited for their own good, but not everyone will understand going into negotiating on offers that the number on the price tag isn't always the most important factor. So when I say that, what I basically mean is that there are a lot of different terms and there are a lot of different aspects to an offer that can sweeten the pot even if the offer is a lower amount, or spoil the pot even if the amount is really high. So ways that the offer could be better even if it's at a lower number is length of escrow that's more suited to the sellers. Having closing costs included, so the offer price might not be as great, but you cover a lot more in closing costs, and so ultimately they're actually still saving money than if they were to go for a full price offer versus paying for closing costs. There are other ways that you can do it. You can buy the home as is, so that way no one has to worry about anything coming from the inspection and damaging the ability to sell the home, and so on and so forth. Having a lower number can still be a huge incentive if there are other terms alongside that offer that make it a lot more appealing. And so just because a number has a lower value than something else next to it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the lower valued offer. And that goes for both ways. If you have the higher valued offer, then it could also be spoiled by some of the terms involved. It could be an offer contingent on the sale of the home of the person buying your home. And so that can be fine, but it could also be dangerous because if they have difficulty selling their home, then bottom line is they're not buying yours. And so they may have a beautiful number put on that offer, but if they're never able to perform, then that offer basically was nothing more than a waste of your time. And there are a lot of different ways that this can happen. You could have someone who is stretching themselves on how much they could possibly afford, and you don't cross-qualify those buyers. And so if those buyers aren't cross-qualified with a better lender, or at least your lender just that way you can trust them, and then ultimately they fall through because they were pushing how much they could afford as much as possible, then just because they have a higher value doesn't mean that they're actually going to be able to pay you that higher value. And so ultimately what you need to look for is someone's ability to perform and actually give you what they say that they're going to give you. Because if they give you an outrageous number, you have to be very careful to make sure that they can actually give you that outrageous number too. And if they can, take it and run and don't look back. But if they can't, if there's any kind of hesitancy, and let's say there's not that big of a jump between first place and second place, but second place is a much safer bet with much less of a headache involved, that stress headache may matter more than $5,000. And so It's not to say that the highest offer isn't going to be the best offer. It's just to say that the highest offer doesn't have to be the best offer. So definitely take some time to evaluate what your options are. So that's number 1 for our top 5 mistakes that sellers make when they're trying to sell their home. It's not the most important one. It's not necessarily the one that people make the most, but it is a big mistake that can cause a lot of stress and can cause a lot of turmoil down the road. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be Tuesday. We're going to be going over point number 2 of the top 5 biggest mistakes that sellers make when they're trying to sell their home. So if you want to see what number 2 is, I'll see you guys later and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.